Brian from Holy Fuck.
And I'm Graham from Holy Fuck.
Latin is our third record. It's sort of like our second record for the planet, and our third record in Canada. So we had one self-titled record. I mean, it is definitely different, I think, than the other records, but it's sort of like a logical progression, especially from the record before it. Where maybe in the very beginning this band could have been a million different things and could have gone in many different directions, but we've sort of gone in this one particular direction, which is sort of was more refined on Latin, a sort of more dynamic record that introduces a bit more melody but still follows along with this sort of like beats and things established around noisy beats. But that said, it's not the crazy noisy cacophonous Punisher that it could have been, once upon a time, like our first record was, maybe we need to like back up, and the next one we'll start going in that direction. We'll try to flesh out every angle.
Yeah, we started off with no rules. I guess in a way we don't have too many rules, but as far as song structure and songs, our very, very first record was entirely 100% improvised in the studio. And then the second record, I think we were still improvising, and we had sort of more song ideas, but they were largely improvised, and the second record was maybe snapshots of those ideas. And then as the third record came along, again, Brian mentioned the refining of that, and the spirit the spirit of inspiration is definitely still there, and that's sort of what keeps it interesting for us on stage. And but there's the structures are there to sort of keep it everything on track and keep everything sort of happening, but very much sort of we're free within that structure to shake things up a bit and mix it up and keep it interesting. When you're playing 43 shows in 45 days, it's to have that at your disposal that definitely helps you keep it fresh in your mind for you after.
So it's hard to say where the next record will go, but I don't know if it's going to keep going on that in one same path, because I think the next thing you're just going to end up with is a very refined pop rock record with M. And I think part of the refinement that we heard on the last record had more to do with the fact that we were playing live a lot, and therefore what maybe in the past would have been sort of an idea, at this moment the idea had already developed, it already bloomed, and it was sort of, there was already the moment to capture it when essentially it was already a song. But that said, where can we go and continue going? I don't think we really have any interest in just becoming a straight up pop rock, shimmering, shiny band. I think we'd like, so maybe that is the answer. Maybe take it a little bit back to where we started.
We gotta make it more of like a amorphous blob, like a multi-headed beast that's gonna emerge out of the ocean and destroy cities. It's gonna be a giant octopus.
I don't feel too much pressure at the moment to sort of turn things, at least vocally, into like pretty typical songs, like with typical lyrical format. But Graham and I are singing more than ever now on stage and in the rehearsal rooms. I mean, we have a mic there plugged into the mixer, going through all of the noisy stuff, and it's kind of there's always that kind of fun thing of picking it up and singing a melody or something, and I guess when I do that, and I'm sure it's the same with Graham, I don't even ask myself what I'm singing. It doesn't occur to me. I'm not trying to be out there. I'm not trying to like make a statement about lyrics and language. I'm just sort of like in this groove or whatever, and you're just feeling, you just kind of chirp and sing and do these sounds. But I guess that is natural. I mean, when we go back home and put on records we like, they're not always even in English, and it's not like we understand any other language. We're not smart enough or scholarly enough to be able to tell what all those great Latin American records are that we listen to, or those Japanese records. And if I listen to something like either Can or the Melvins or Sonic Youth or something, I'm not really listening, going, oh, what are those lyrics? Not to just name drop those bands, but you know what I mean. Like there's entire histories of great music that doesn't revolve around "Come on, girl, let's party."
I love you.
We were in Chicago and on New Year's Day, and we got in a taxi cab to go get our equipment back from the venue that we played at, and we had bags in the trunk, and we got out of the cab, and literally the next thing we knew, the cab was taking off. He totally forgot that we had stuff in the trunk, and just took off before we could do anything about it. And of course, we didn't have the cab number yet. We didn't have anything. Like, he just literally took off. So with a personal bag, with a briefcase that had a laptop and a bunch of hard drives in it, with a bunch of things that we recorded, mostly the whole record, and a bunch of stuff that Brian recorded as well. So yeah, we went through all the channels to try and get everything back, and it wasn't looking good. And you can take it from here, I guess.
Yeah, well, it helps my roommate's a lawyer. But you know, the cab company was honest. Maybe it wasn't always their intention to be honest. It did take an extraordinarily long time for said cab driver to realize he had these items. Maybe there was some pressure coming from somewhere because we were sort of doing all that we could to try to track down the individual. But it's kind of dumb. I had all my music in there. I had my main drive and my backups because I had just come from it was the end of the holidays, so I'd come from a personal holiday where I was working on lots of music. But the particularly heartbreaking thing about it was that on the album before, we lost everything due to a crash. So we didn't lose everything on the album before, but we lost whole songs, and which is one of the reasons why on our album before LP, 3 of the songs are taken from a radio performance where we just do the live to radio kind of thing, and then we ended up taking those songs and putting them on the record. We liked those versions and they had a good energy to them, but regardless, the other version that we were doing in the studio proper was gone. So I mean, it seems like we're having bad luck.
All right, thanks so much, Cheese on Toast, for having us. Really glad to be here and be part of Laneway Festival.
Yeah, and thanks for not asking us about our name.